Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Softcom English podcast. My name is Vera, and I'm here with another episode for you, the Ukrainians striving to improve their soft and communication skills in English. Today, my guest is Oksana Hera once again. To learn more about our previous conversations with Oksana, please check out our earlier episode featuring her. Thank you for joining me again, Oksana.
Hi, Vera. Hello, everyone. It's good to be back.
Oksana, in our previous episode, we talked about cultural differences, particularly regarding polite refusals, and how saying maybe later can sometimes mean never. Today, I'd like to discuss giving feedback, specifically positive feedback, offering praise, and thanking people. Doing these things isn't really a typical feature of Ukrainian communication culture. And that's why many of my English learners, who are mainly IT professionals, have shared that their foreign clients often say things like, "It's awesome" or "Great job," even when they just do the regular daily tasks. And this often surprises them, and they wonder why it happens. Have your clients ever shared similar experiences with you? And, what do you think about it?
I've heard such questions as well, Vera. Words can be surprising, that's true. And I still think quite often it's not so much about the words used, but the level of excitement that people share. Whether it's awesome or well done or anything along these lines. When people ask me why others do this, I encourage them to analyze the context. And if they have regular conversations with the people who use it, I say, have you ever tried asking them?
I think that would be quite an unexpected question, and it could make their foreign colleagues feel awkward and might even come across as rude. Well, such questions definitely need to be asked very carefully. Something like, your feedback is always so polite and it's really encouraging. I'd like to know if this is a common practice in your culture.
That's a very good point, Vera. That's why I can repeat your thoughts and say that people have to be very careful phrasing such questions and choosing the right moment to ask them. However, I do believe that people who are globally have to be ready to deal with all types of questions.
Absolutely.
Speaking of feedback, it's a hugely important element of communication. Positive feedback may be rather unusual for many people. It may also mean they are not used to this concept at all, or maybe they are used to expressing it differently. For instance, in some communities, when you don't criticize, it almost equals praise. Then imagine what happens in their mind when they hear praise from colleagues or foreign clients. Why are they saying these nice things about my work? If they praise, do they want me to do more?
This reminds me of an experience a friend of mine, a Ukrainian project manager, once shared with me. So he was managing a Ukrainian development team working for an American client. And at one point, the client decided to organize a meeting solely for the team members to give positive feedback, express gratitude, and offer praise to one another. And the meeting was an epic fail because no one said anything. However, the American client was persistent and scheduled another meeting with the same purpose. And to foster a culture of giving positive feedback, the Ukrainian project manager held individual meetings with each team member where they reflected on what they appreciated about their colleagues, what they were thankful for, and what praise they could offer to others. Though it took a lot of effort to break through this shyness and general lack of skills in giving positive feedback on the Ukrainian side, the second attempt of this meeting went much better at the end of the day.
That sounds like a great example. of how unusual such experiences can be. In cross-cultural communication, there is a lot of need for doing your homework, or in other words, preparation for any type of conversation. This team was very lucky to have a project manager who was ready to support them.
Right. Also, I'd like to talk about the reaction to positive feedback. Can you suggest any tips for Ukrainians on how to do that?
Well, where do we start? Everyone has their own expectations. And I'd say start with observing your own ways of reacting to positive feedback. It all starts with you, whether we like it or not. If you are used to downplaying it, try saying thank you from time to time. Or learn a couple of other phrases to accept it. For example, I really appreciate it, or it was a team effort. However, if you see this doesn't work for you, don't push yourself too much. Ask someone you trust for their help or opinion. When you understand why people do it, it makes it easier to adapt to this type of communication.
That's right. All right, Oksana, thank you for sharing your tips and opinions. It has been really useful.
My pleasure, Vera. Let's see what questions we get from our listeners. It'll be good to focus on them next time.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us in this episode. We're going to continue our podcast with Oksana. So if you do have any specific questions about culture differences, write them in the comments below and we will cover them in our next episodes. Remember, our soft and calm skills matter. They change work and life for the better. Stay tuned.